Over the years, fighting games have been host to a wide range of characters from different genres of games. Terry Bogard from the King of Fighters joining Super Smash Bros. To Akuma from Street Fighter making his debut in Tekken. Guest characters always raise a lot of eyebrows and pique a lot of interest. Mortal Kombat is no exception to this craze. Since the resurgence of Mortal Kombat with MK 2011, we've seen the likes of Kratos, Freddy Krueger, Predator and even Alien show up in the franchise, just to name a few. The latest addition in the guest character phenomenon is the Terminator, which was a very welcomed and fitting guest to the Mortal Kombat 11 roster. Both the Joker and Spawn will be showing up in Mortal Kombat 11 in 2020, but I wanted to give you 5 characters that I would personally like to see in Mortal Kombat somewhere down the line. Just for clarity's sake, I'm going to be excluding Ash Williams from this list because there's been a couple leaks and a couple suggestions that he may actually be showing up in Combat Season 2, so he won't be in this list. To me, the Mask has always been an obvious pick for Mortal Kombat, and it's kind of surprising that they haven't done him already. He would fit in the universe perfectly, and I know what some of you are thinking, how could the Mask fit in the Mortal Kombat universe? Well, I'm kind of talking about the movie, but I'm also talking about the comic books. If you've ever seen the comic books, you know they are very violent. The Mask is inherently a very gory piece of media. The film sort of went down a more of a Looney Tunes route without taking on some of the more dark aspects of what the Mask is. But if you combine Jim Carrey's version of the Mask with the gore from the comics, I think you've got a perfect guest character and somebody that will fit in perfectly in Mortal Kombat 11. Not to mention that this guy is just ridiculously overpowered. He is so fast that he once raced Lobo around the planet. If anyone knows who Lobo is, you already know that that is some ridiculous feat. If they could somehow pull off getting Jim Carrey to voice the Mask for Mortal Kombat 11 and getting the gory aspects of him in there, because there's plenty of material to work with for his fatalities, then I think you've got one of the best characters that Mortal Kombat will ever see, and any fighting game will ever see.
It's party time! P-A-R-T. Why? Because I gotta!
"私が死んだら、もし私が平八さんを止められなかった時は、あの人を、平八さんを殺してください。
よかろう。時来たれば、うぬへの借りは返す。
Yes, of course I was going to add Akuma to this. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking, why are you adding Akuma to this list? He's already in Tekken 7, we've had enough of Akuma, he's ruining that game as it is. As much as the Tekken community might not like Akuma right now, and as much as people might get annoyed at him in Street Fighter itself because of his ridiculous mix-ups and damage, there is no better character from the Street Fighter universe to join the Mortal Kombat roster. Now we've wanted a Street Fighter cross Mortal Kombat game for years now. There's been so many teasers, there was even a tweet or some information that came out not too long ago that Ed Boon actually wanted to do it and the Capcom side sort of shut it down. People have wanted a Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat game for years now. I think the best way to get this done, the gateway, is Akuma. You cannot sit there and tell me that you don't want to see Akuma versus Scorpion. You don't want to see Akuma go up against Raiden. And it might be hard for some people to imagine Ryu or Chun-Li ripping someone's head off, but is it really hard to imagine Akuma tearing someone to shreds? I mean, anyone that has played Street Fighter or knows anything about the Street Fighter lore knows exactly what he did to Goken and what he did to Bison, and basically anyone that he gets his hands on. I've always wanted Street Fighter represented in the Mortal Kombat universe, and I know they lean more towards movie characters now and characters from comic books, but I think Akuma would be an awesome addition. He's got the power to stand up to some of these characters. Remember, Mortal Kombat is a game that exists with a lot of gods in it, a lot of people of ridiculous power, and if you're going to have anyone from Street Fighter standing up to that, if you're going to have anyone representing the Capcom side, if you're going to be okay with anyone from Street Fighter being torn to shreds as well, then the only logical pick here is Akuma.
Ghost Rider.
You know full well that I was gonna put Ghost Rider in this list. I don't really even need to talk about why. The reasons are obvious, but the inclusion of a Marvel character in a Mortal Kombat game would be massive. Reason number one, because Mortal Kombat is affiliated with DC, so we're one step closer to Marvel versus DC, and if we have to do it through Mortal Kombat, I'm fine with that. Reason number two, we all want to get the Flaming Skull battle to the death. How many sick introductions can you do with Ghost Rider and Scorpion? The list is literally endless. Not to mention the fact that Ghost Rider is ridiculously powerful. Let's go through some of them, shall we? Immense superhuman strength, stamina, agility, reflexes, endurance, durability, invulnerability to fire, heat, lava and flames. He has the penance stir, resurrection, immortality, regeneration, an accelerated healing factor, the ability to project regular and ethereal flame, ability to travel between interdimensional realms and along any surface. Now, I can keep going, but like I said at the beginning of the video, the reasons for having this character in Mortal Kombat are obvious. I mean, he's not the most PG character out there. It's gonna have such a positive impact on Mortal Kombat to have Scorpion and Ghost Rider the gateway to a potential Marvel versus DC fighting game. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Also, I'm kind of putting him in there because I'm slightly biased, as Johnny Blaze / the Ghost Rider is my favorite Marvel character. It is actually beyond me how this character has not made it into a fighting game yet. Imhotep has got to be one of the best movie characters that has ever been put out there. In might I say, some of the best films ever. And I'm only talking about The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. We're not going to talk about the third one. And as much as I love Tom Cruise, we're not going to talk about whatever the hell that was. And Imhotep fits as a perfect addition to Mortal Kombat because they add horror characters all the time. We've had several guest characters that fall under the horror banner, and you could argue that The Mummy is not really a horror film, it's more like an action film, but this character is very clearly rooted within the horror genre. Now, in 2019, The Mummy and The Mummy Returns are appreciated to almost a cult following, and I think the icing on the cake will be to have Imhotep in Mortal Kombat 11. And who knows, that could spark the return of Rick O'Connell and his family taking on Imhotep, because we never got a trilogy of these films. We had 1 and 2, and I know there's been things online to get Brendan Fraser back out there, back in the Mummy franchise, and I think Mortal Kombat could be an excellent gateway to that happening. Now, on top of that, we have one Sand character in the game already in the form of Geras. Why not add a second one? Why not give him a rival? For any of you that have watched the Mummy films, you know that he has control over the dead, namely his army of the dead, and he also has control over sand. So it really doesn't take a creative genius to work out what you would do with this character's moveset. On top of the ability to control sand and to control the army of the dead, Imhotep also has regeneration, superhuman strength, the ability to teleport, or kind of teleport. I mean, when they showed him that cat, he was kind of just out of there instantly. I don't know where the hell he went. It looked like a teleportation of some sort to me. He seems to be very fast, and the best thing about Imhotep is that the more human flesh he consumes, the more he regenerates to his human looking form. So we actually see several incarnations of Imhotep throughout both films. This is perfect for a game that has 3 variations, as you could have 3 different costumes per variation. Kind of think of it like Cell in Dragon Ball Z. There was his very beetle-like looking form, the first form, there was the second form, then there was the perfect form, and obviously the super perfect form. And you can do the same sort of thing with Imhotep. Mortal Kombat 11 is a game that boasts a lot of customization. It would be very, very, very easy to incorporate Imhotep within that system. Imhotep will always go down as one of the most beloved movie characters for me, and I would love to see him in Mortal Kombat 11. Do I even need to say anything beyond that clip? John Wick is a walking fatality. If you have seen any of the John Wick films, 1, 2 or 3, you will know that this man just leaves death and body bags in his wake. I'm not going to ruin why this guy is on a killing spree, but if you haven't seen the films, do yourself a favor and go and watch them. It is the most legit reason to kill a bunch of gangsters if there ever was one. And John Wick is played by arguably the most loved man in Hollywood, Keanu Reeves. So this is a win-win situation for Mortal Kombat if they ever got him in there. I'm genuinely surprised he has never shown up as a guest character in a fighting game. It just seems like a match made in heaven. Seriously, if not Mortal Kombat 11, then some sort of Mortal Kombat game in the future, but John Wick needs to be in there. I will be genuinely shocked if he doesn't come into a Mortal Kombat game. I was already confused when Negan showed up in Tekken. He seemed perfect for Mortal Kombat. So let's not waste this opportunity. Let's not waste the fact that Keanu Reeves' John Wick character is still a free agent in the realm of fighting games. And for the love of God, please get him before Super Smash Bros. Does, because they are scooping up all of the talent. Now John Wick 4 is on the horizon, and apparently there's already talks for John Wick 5. Let's get this character into Mortal Kombat whilst there's still a lot of hype surrounding him. If anyone sees this video at all, if anyone ever gets to watch this video and they can pass it on to Ed Boon, just make sure that he definitely sees the #1 character that I want in Mortal Kombat 11. Because I think I speak for everyone else when I say there may not be a more perfect character than John Wick.
You working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
Anyways guys, thanks for watching my video. This has been my top 5 guest characters that I'd like to see in Mortal Kombat. Maybe some you agreed with, maybe some you disagree with, that's all good. It's just my personal opinion and personal preference. If there were 5 other guest characters that you wanted to see in Mortal Kombat, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Boys and girls, I'll be back when I'm back. Peace.